Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we got some breaking news here to cover. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially released quarterback Derek Carr. The Raiders cut Carr, and if you want to cut up some of this hair on your chin, make sure you head on over to manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping on not only the best male grooming products for down there, but also their brand new beard hedger. So I'm bringing this new video to all of y'all because it is officially official. We have been talking about the Raiders moving on from DC for quite some time now, and now, as it stands with about 20 minutes to go until they needed to make the move, the Raiders have officially cut Derek Carr. They're going to be freed up by $29.25 million, which puts them at somewhere around $50 million for salary cap space. That is, as it stands right now, third in the National Football League. Now, some of the news that happened earlier today, this one rolls in from Ian Rappaport. Expect the Raiders quarterback Derek Carr to receive a significant interest when he releases. It's official at 1:04 p.m. today. But the veteran won't be in a rush to sign. He's already visited the Saints, who are still in the mix, and don't be surprised if more visits follow before a decision. This one happened on February 12th from Rappaport, which is when we put out our first video. Quarterback Derek Carr has informed the team he won't accept a trade to the Saints or any other team. The team is expected to release him, and he'll be a top free agent. Then, Tom Pelissero, the Saints and the Raiders had the framework of a trade in place for Derek Carr, but his contract, which was fully guaranteed at $40.4 million as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, was an issue. Essentially what Pelissero was saying, no NFL team wanted to give Derek Carr $40.4 million, which I do not blame them. Rappaport, the first big domino of the offseason, Derek Carr wanted to speak with his team, and now he will. Las Vegas moves on and is free from his contract. Some of the takes that I gave this morning on Twitter, remember, if you guys want to hit me up on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365, was this. Not getting draft picks for Derek Carr is a loss, but the contract that Dave Ziegler cooked up, I don't think it's getting near enough the respect. Las Vegas gave Carr a one-year prove-it deal, and let's face it, DC failed to prove it. Saving $121.5 million is simply unheard of in today's NFL. By moving on from DC, the Raiders now finally have a chance for a title. I am confident in saying this. Derek Carr and the Raiders were never, ever going to win a Super Bowl. If you're an NFL team, you wake up every single day, every single offseason, and your plan is to win a Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, that never was going to happen with Derek Carr. Trading Derek, also remember, it did come with some risk. If the team that traded for him backed out before March 15th, the Raiders, they would have been on the hook for $40.4 million. When you look at how petty DC has been and how petty the whole Carr family has been, I don't know if the Raiders would have been even smart to make a trade. A comp pick, a third-round pick? Are you kidding me? For all that risk? There's a lot of risk. Trading Derek Carr, I get it. That's what a lot of people wanted. That's what a lot of people thought. Hell, it's what I wanted. That's what I thought. But at the end of the day, today is a great day for the Raiders. This is probably one of the best things that has happened to this Raiders organization in a long time. You're moving on from a mediocre quarterback. Whether you like Derek or not, he's been very mediocre for a very long time, and this is a great thing for the Silver and Black. So I want to know from all y'all right now, what is your one-word reaction to the Raiders cutting Derek Carr? We're going to make this the pinned comment on today's show, so please scroll on down while you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break and let me know your one-word reaction. My one-word reaction is finally. I have wanted the Raiders to move on from Derek Carr for quite some time, and I think as I've been doing this show and I've put out videos every single day for 3 years, man, like I got a lot of pride in what I do, and I will always respect DC for how much he has helped grow not only this channel, he's helped out my career, he's done a lot of great things for the Raiders, but you got to be able to face the facts. He simply did not win, and the Raiders did not win. Was it all on Derek's shoulders? No, and nobody thinks that, but it's time to finally move on because Derek has never given you that commitment to excellence in terms of being able to win football games. You could not win with Derek, so yes, finally, I'm so happy the Raiders are finally away from Derek. So if you love the Raiders and you want more videos, hit that big old red button that says subscribe right now. We're going to be not only doing live shows every week. We're going to give you a video every single day. When breaking news like this happens, we got you covered. We've been live here on the Raiders Report for about 3.5 hours. Join the party because we're going to celebrate the Raiders moving on from Derek Carr. One of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why DC was not traded. Yes, he failed to waive his no-trade clause, but I have a very good source that told me Derek would have been willing to waive the no-trade clause if a team was willing to take on his contract. At the end of the day, there was not a single NFL team out there, which, here's the thing, you can't blame NFL teams out there for not wanting to trade for Derek. Like, whether we like Derek or not, there's not teams out there that are going to pay a fringe top 16 quarterback, somebody who's been very mediocre for a quite long time. They're not going to give him $40.4 million guaranteed and then $33 million in 2023, $40 million plus in 2024, 2025. I think Derek might test the free agent market and hope that he gets around this number. If I was a team, though, and I saw Derek on the free agent market, I would say $30 million is probably where he's going to be. Coming off of arguably his worst season as a pro since his rookie year. A 60.8% completion percentage, 3,522 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Yes, he had a career high in yards back in 2021, but I'm telling you all this right now doesn't matter. In the NFL, if you can't perform when it matters the most in the red zone, if you can't put up touchdowns, you're going to struggle. Derek had 24 touchdowns with the number one running back in the NFL, with arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, with an offensive line that played way better than anybody ever expected. And Derek was not good. On top of that, the more and more Derek started to play back-to-back years, he struggled in December. These December numbers, if you're somebody who's going to sit up here and say the Raiders are making the wrong decision by moving on from Carr, I am going to respectfully look you dead in the eyes and say, I don't think that you know ball. And if you want to make sure you're taking care of your balls, head on over to manscaped.com. Or if you want to take care of your beard, use promo code Raiders. They are the sponsor of today's show. We've been waiting for breaking news, and guess what? We got breaking news here. Manscaped is now selling beard products. That's right. Our friends at Manscaped have gone from Balls Mafia to Beard Mafia in 2023 to keep you well groomed from head to toe with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. In this package, it all starts with the Beard Hedger. This cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel with 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. Sculpt your beard to a championship level this season with Manscaped and tame your mane by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code Raiders. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code Raiders at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with the free shipping at manscaped.com and use our code Raiders. Avoid the blitz and take your beard to the promised land this year with a brand new Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Like, I'll tell you this right now. I am happy the Raiders are moving on from D.C., and for a long time, I am now more confident in this Raiders organization to be able to win a Super Bowl than I have been. And I don't need to know who the quarterback is. I don't need to know who the QB is because I can confidently sit up here and say Derek was never going to win a Super Bowl in Las Vegas. It was just not going to happen. He's not talented enough to be able to carry a team to the promised land. That's just a cold, hard fact. So now the fact that the Raiders don't know who their QB is, guess what? I am finally happy that, to me, we have a chance. And either you don't make the playoffs, and then McDaniels and Ziegler are gone, which is fine to me, or you make the playoffs, and that's what matters. To me, it's a win-win situation. Derek Carr, throughout his career, 64.6% completion percentage in 148 games, 35,222 yards, 217 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. Carr this offseason said, "Thank you to all the people reaching out, trying to give me their platform to tell my side of what happened. It's the hardest thing in the world not to jump on every interview and tell the whole truth. Thank you, but I'm choosing to move on and give our next city our best." I'll tell you the truth. Derek just didn't win, baby. And Derek can come up with all the excuses he wants, and I really do believe most people that are going to defend D.C. are people who probably use excuses more than others. Does Derek have a side of the story? Yes. Is he 100% to blame for why the Raiders lost this season? No. I will say Josh McDaniels deserves more blame than Derek Carr because when you're the head coach, you deserve blame. And I just really, truly believe in my heart of hearts, this is a divorce that was ugly. Both people, they cared about each other. Derek loved the Raiders loved Derek Carr. The fan base, very passionate about both of them. But we got to be able to face the facts. The best thing that could have happened is the Raiders moving on from D.C. and D.C. being able to move on. I am very curious, though, of how this ends up transpiring in 2023. So with this being said, Derek, he's been the Raiders starting quarterback since 2014, since he was a rookie out of Fresno State. My question to you is, who's going to be the Raiders quarterback in 2023? Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, I'm going to show you all my top 5 candidates in terms of the most likely to be the Raiders starter in 2023. I will admit, some of these names that you're about to see are ranked, so 1 to 5. I also have some honorable mentions to throw in there as well, so the names that you will see, don't panic. Like Jacoby Brissett, you can go to a Chugs. Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. These are honorable mentions. People are going to make the comparison of Jacoby Brissett left and right. No doubt about it. Baker Mayfield, he's going to be a name that gets brought up because he's Baker Mayfield. Lamar Jackson, if he doesn't get franchise tagged or if he doesn't want to be a member of the Baltimore Ravens, you should throw a lot of money at him. Geno Smith, I think he ends up going back to Seattle, and then Sam Darnold. But to me, though, it's a five-man race. You can either sign dudes in free agency, you can either draft a quarterback, or you're going to go out and trade for some guys. So coming up next here on the show, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. Shout out to the 2,500 people watching live. If you haven't already liked the video, hey, whether you're a Carr fan, whether you're a Raiders fan, I think if you're a Raiders fan, you know deep down that this is literally best case scenario for the Raiders. Yeah, you didn't get any draft picks, but you finally get to move on from Derek, which I think we'd all agree is 100% the right thing to do. All right, here we go. Raiders quarterback rankings here. Coming in at number 5, it's Mac Jones. And if you want to get Mac Jones, you got to trade for him. There's going to be 2 quarterbacks on my list that I'll tell you right now, I will be pissed off if they are the guy. The reason why Mac Jones makes this list is because of his connections with McDaniels, of his connections with Dave Ziegler. I do believe that the New England Patriots hired their man and, what's his name? The Houston Texans coach, Butthole Chin. Bill O'Brien, they hired him because he worked with Mac Jones back in 2017 in Alabama. I think he does end up staying there. At number 4 on my list, Jarrett Stidham. If the Raiders want to try to tank and they want to try to get somebody like Caleb Williams or Drake May, I do think re-signing Jarrett Stidham is potentially the option you go. He is not a top 40 quarterback in the NFL. He's not a very good quarterback. Those are just the cold, hard facts. Jarrett Stidham, though, would be an option for this team. At number 3, Jimmy Garoppolo in free agency. There's been some reports out there that the Raiders would actually prefer Garoppolo over Aaron Rodgers. I hope that those reports are about as drunk as Jeremy and I are on a Thursday night football show, because it doesn't make sense to me. I would say worst case scenario for the Raiders is they sign Jimmy Garoppolo or you trade for Mac Jones. You know what this team is when you have a game manager at quarterback. You know what the Raiders are when you have a mediocre guy. Jimmy Garoppolo, Mac Jones, Derek Carr, they're all in that same conversation. Mediocre can be good, but that's not what I want to settle for. That's not what Al Davis would settle for. You got a commitment to excellence. Let's face it. That's not what a commitment to excellence is. At number 2, it's C.J. Stroud. And this has been the quarterback that I've linked to the Raiders the most because I was told by a very good source 2 months ago that Dave Ziegler, he likes Stroud a lot. And most recently, I put out a video earlier on Tuesday that said Stroud said that he would love to play with Davante Adams. In fact, he said he would love to team up with him. Davante then also liked the tweet of C.J. Stroud saying that. If you're a Raiders organization and you gave up as much as you did to get Davante Adams and he says, hey, I want C.J. Stroud, you got to be able to respect that man's opinion and go out and try to get that young man from Ohio State. But coming in at number 1, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. When you look at Vegas, Vegas tells all. Minus 350 odds as it stands right now to have Aaron Rodgers under center for the Silver and Black. Today, the Raiders went from 50-1 Super Bowl odds to 30-1 Super Bowl odds. You don't even know who the quarterback is yet. I also think that speaks volumes of what they think of Derek Carr. To me, Rodgers and Davante, it's going to happen. This Raiders organization needs to win right now. And the fact that they need to win right now, they're going to go all in. You heard Josh Jacobs say, I don't mind being franchise tagged if you build around me. The last time we saw Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams together was back-to-back NFL MVPs. So those are your top 5 quarterbacks most likely to be under center for the Silver and Black next season. I also want to bring this up again. It is important to remember that I do think one of the reasons why, again, a Raiders trade, I'm not all that upset about it, is because it did come with risk. If the Raiders would have moved on from D.C. in a trade from now until March 15th, if D.C. or the other NFL team that made the deal, if they would have said, nah, I'm okay, and they void the deal, the Raiders would be on the hook for $40.4 million. I just don't know if I would have trusted Derek Carr and his team to do the right things, because all the reports were true. Derek, when he went into his meetings, he didn't go there looking for a trade. He went there telling teams in terms of free agency. Carr is trying to do his best to screw over the Raiders because he felt like the Raiders did him dirty. I'm going to look at all of you in the eyes right now and say this. I do not think that the Raiders did Derek Carr dirty. And I think anybody that thinks that out there, shame on you. Were there situations that didn't go 100% accurate? Yes. Did Derek have a bad defense? Yes. But when you were given two $100 million contracts, when you were made the highest paid player in the league, you're expected to win. The leash that Derek Carr has gotten is the longest leash in NFL history for a quarterback at his position. The Raiders did not win with DC. It's best for both parties to move on, and I am sick and tired of the pity party that Derek is getting. Do people respect him? Yes. Should you respect Derek? Absolutely. He has done everything right by this organization, but at the end of the day, he did not win football games, and that is what is most important. So my next question to you is this. What team will Derek Carr play for in 2023? I want to know. Where's he going to be suiting up? We've put out a lot of videos around this topic, and I will continue to say that the number one team most likely to have Derek Carr under center, it is going to be the New Orleans Saints, the only team that Derek went on a visit with. It's the only team that he visited twice. His wife, Heather, she went down to New Orleans. She visited also with the New Orleans Saints. I do think, though, the number two team is the New York Jets. They just hired Todd Downing as a pass game coordinator. He's got a relationship with Derek Carr. I think the New York Jets are going to target Aaron Rodgers. They're going to miss because he's going to go to the Raiders. And then they're going to turn their concentration on D.C. because they don't believe that there's going to be a quarterback available there at number 13. The Commanders always are tied to D.C. Carolina Panthers, another team at pick number 9. They've been looking for a quarterback for a long time. The Titans have been reported of moving on from Ryan Tannehill. Do they go out and try to get a guy like Derek Carr? Other honorable mentions here for D.C. Houston Texans. The Texans are a very, very sneaky team. Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, Arizona is on this list because I don't see Kyler Murray being ready by the start of the regular season. And then the Green Bay Packers, when he just rejoined Rich Bisaccia. Those are my Derek Carr free agency destinations. As always, my job here is to keep you guys up to date. And if you're watching this live, hopefully y'all are ready to party because we're going to celebrate the hell out of the fact that the Raiders are finally moving on from Derek Carr. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully y'all are ready to rock and roll because it is time to celebrate moving on from DC here on the Raiders Report.